Okay, so I tested the extra deck slot, and that worked pretty well. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm not going to work on the plate yet, here, because I need the dividers. I need to add the dividers, to separate the deck from the graveyard and the banish zone. So what I'm first going to do is take this sketch, add in this line, and mirror all of this stuff I don't remember how much of it was strictly necessary. Mirror it all on that line. Okay, that's good. Alright. I think I might make this a little bit bigger. Just cause. Alright. And then on this one here, alright, so that's everything. So now I've got the deck slot, that's the part that you deal from, and I've got the extra deck slot. And now I'm going to add in the dividers to separate the deck from the graveyard and so on. And I think what I need to do is put a plane. Oof. Okay. First, I'm going to put a sketch on this plane here, just so I can put the plane that I want in the middle. Now I'm going to make the body go away. And then I'm going to put a line right there. Now I can put a plane on it. There, not as okay, that's the right angle. Get rid of this plane, and now I can draw what I want to draw. So I can start a sketch on this plane, get rid of the previous sketch. I forgot to name my sketches. I'm gonna project this, and then I'm gonna project sure, why not? Now I can get rid of the body. Okay, so the idea that I have for these dividers, I hope this will work. So what I've got here is smaller than the actual cards. The cards are going to be, or the cards are 95 by 65. So as long as I have something solid inside of this space, that'll act as a good divider. So the idea that I have, that I just thought of this because I was thinking, how am I going to do the dividers? The dividers need to do two things. One, they need to stay attached to this piece somehow, right? Because if they're not attached, then they'll have to be carried separately, and that's just no good. So they have to do that, and they have to effectively mark the separation between the three sets of cards: the deck, the graveyard, and the banish zone. So to stay attached, I'm just going to make a little C shape that goes around that wall there. That should work. So I'm going to make a distance from here to here, and if I hit M, yes, I do have a moving tolerance. Okay. 0.5? 0.5. Oh my goodness. Okay, 0.5 is really loose. I made it 0.5. Is there anything that is... Hang on a second. So far, I've got this, and nothing has the moving tolerance, because none of these parts are actually moving or separated from each other. So I should be able to change the moving tolerance, because 0.5 is actually pretty darn loose. So if I change that to 0.3. Parameters expression edit failed. Unknown result. Please provide a valid expression. Oh, that's because I put 2 decimals. Okay. Okay, something in there did have the moving tolerance, but it shouldn't be anything on the pieces that I'm using. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, it must have screwed with some relationships. Now there's... Okay. I'm just going to keep going back until... Okay, cool. Moving tolerance. Got it. Okay. Well, then I'm just going to have to be stuck with it. Oh, you know what it probably was? Clip width, card width, static tolerance, moving tolerance, max deck size, min deck size, wall thickness. It's probably in the... Okay, anyways. Okay. Whoops, not 0.5. That's moving tolerance. And this one as well. Okay. And then if I make this some number that feels right, like say 2, and then I offset it by a wall thickness, then I can close it up. So I should be able to snap that onto there, right? And I can test that without having to print everything, but I'm not gonna be worried about that yet. So if I bring this card Okay, good. So, next thing I need to do. Put two things on this side. And another one. This needs to be collinear with this one. This is a wall thickness, I believe. This is also a wall thickness. And this is a wall thickness. Alright. And if I bring it past here, then I've got, the card will go approximately here-ish. So I bring it way out to here. If I might want to bring it past the cards. The reason I might want to bring it past the cards is so I can add tabs, right? So I can have a tab on this side and a tab on this side. And I'll put a line here in between them. And I'll make those three equal. And this is a construction line. And the card is a construction line. So the card would be around here-ish, right? And this needs to be somewhat thick, right? So I don't know if I'll need these tabs, because here's my thinking. If I print this out, if I make this, so I had initially thought that these dividers would be a wall thickness, thick, right? And the thinking there was that I would put that's 0.5 millimeter? The thinking there, right, was that it would be in between the whole deck, right? But it would also be in between these two things. But now I'm thinking, if I'm not going to be using, if I'm in a situation like at the very beginning of the game where the whole deck is just the deck and nothing's in the graveyard, I won't need to necessarily use this, right? So this won't actually be adding to any thickness, at least not at the beginning of the game. So I might be able to get away with making this like thicker. And the reason I might want to make it thicker is to make it more obvious where the different sections are, right? To make it more clear, or to make a more obvious gap in between the deck and the graveyard. Although ×2 is too much. See, that's too much too. Hang on. You know what? A wall thickness might actually be good. But if I have a clear enough gap, right, I won't necessarily need these tabs. And if it's clear enough that I don't need the tabs, then I can just bring this in to just past that. Or even inside of it. right? If I bring it inside of it, that might also work. So what I'm gonna do is okay. So first what I'm gonna do is decide whether I want to print this whole thing. I think yes. Okay, let me get a good look at this. Okay. So I only would need 2 of these. And if I put it in here like that, then this is going to fall down like that. So I do want it to be outside of it. I do want it to be outside of it. I want it to always be past that line, because I want it to be able to fall away. So what I think I'll do is I have a smaller section printed of the I have a smaller slice printed of the dealer. So I think I might print this out. So what I wanted, okay, I'm trying to think how I'm going to test it. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the plane here. I'm gonna make 2 planes. One in this direction. And one in the other direction. Okay, I'm gonna split this body. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna rename it briefly to divider clip-on test. I'm gonna save that. Okay. Now the divider, I don't know if I want the tab or not, but I did make it pretty skeletal, so I'm gonna go ahead and not include the tab in this print. Gonna try and round off as many edges as I can here, because that just makes a better first layer. I'm gonna suppress this. Alright. And then I'm gonna rename this to divider. And I'm going to save it. And now I'm gonna see how well it'll be able to clip on, but I'm also going to test it in the piece that I already have. And I'm going to test it in that piece, and I'm also going to test it. I'm going to test how well it works with my deck in the thing. So that's really what I need to do. So yeah, I'll go ahead and print that out and see how well it works. See how well what I've got so far works. And if that works, then literally all I need to do is take the plate, the little plate, the sides here seriously, and come up with a good design for that. So yeah, this is actually coming along a lot farther than I expected. A lot quicker than I expected, because I've only worked on this for 2 days so far, and I'm already this far in. Anyways, I'll go ahead and print out that divider and that little test piece for the divider, see if I can get it to clip on. And hopefully I should, so. But maybe I need to, maybe I'll need to change it to be, I might need to change it to be a little thinner than 2 millimeters. Oh, I missed a spot. Okay, I'll go ahead and save that again. Yes, replace it. Okie dokie. Alright, I will see how well this divider setup works, and if it works well, then I will continue with this divider setup, and if it doesn't work well, I will have to redesign the divider. Alright, so I've printed out the test here for the dividers. And it can slide alright. And it's not coming off, at least by accident. And I did check it. I can, it's hard through the camera, but I can just barely get it in if I bend it just right. It takes a little bit of force. I think I need to do the other side because this side goes easier than this side, so because of that I think I need to make it a little bit shorter to do that. Now I've got the my cards in the thing here, and I'm gonna test the divider and see the size gap that it makes. I'm just going to stick that in there and see what happens. Put that all the way back there. And there's a gap. Can I clearly tell? Can I like grab just the part that I want to grab? Yes, I can. So like if I wanted to pull out the graveyard, I could do that, and this would not come out with it because it would be attached to the whole thing there. So I'm glad to see that there's a gap. I might make it a little bigger because I'd like it to be a little bit more obvious, and it does take a tiny bit of effort to pull out just what I want to pull out. So I think I might make it a little bit bigger, but I don't think this is bad as is. It does twist a lot. It does twist a lot. I might add in a little triangle shape just to make sure, just to keep it from twisting, but it's not like that's gonna be an issue in the... Oh, hang on. If I squeeze it like this... Oh, okay. Actually, I'm gonna not add in that triangle shape. Because the squeezing allows me to... I think I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker. Because the gap was there, and it was pretty obvious, and I could tell. But I think I want it to be a little bit big. Because, again... Not again, but because... Let me just... put this in there. Right? Then I put these in there. There's clearly a gap there, but it's a pretty small gap, and I have to grab it from the side like this, and I'd like to be able to grab it like this. The clip just flew off. So I think making it about 2.4 millimeters tall would be a better size. So I think I'm going to do that, and I'm going to print 2 of them just to check that the thing can take it. But pretty sure it can. So I'm going to make it 2.4 millimeters tall. I'm going to hopefully be able to squeeze it like this when I print it like that. And then I'm going to check again. Okay. I've got the other 2 pieces printed now. Well, I didn't necessarily say they were going to be 2, but I have thicker pieces printed now for the dividers. This one is all crappy and messed up. It's 2.4 millimeters thick. This one is 3 millimeters thick. I'm going to see which one I like better. So I'm going to put my deck in here, then I'm going to lift it up a little bit and put in the skinny one, the 2 millimeter one. Okay, I gotta grab my the clip there. I have to, and now I have to collect the cards, make sure they're all in the right order, and try again. Which one is this one? Okay, this is the slightly shorter one. So instead, I'm gonna put them all in here, and then I'm gonna put this at the bottom. And that is doing what I hoped it would do, right? It has fallen out of the way when it's not needed. But as soon as I put one of them in there, it's gonna stay there, and that's a pretty good gap. Okay, Google, dismiss alarm. I forgot about that alarm. That's a pretty good gap. I like that gap. That's a lot better than the other gap. Let me put in a few more. All right. And can I easily grab just Kind of. Okay, I'm gonna try with the 3mm one now. So I'm gonna put the 3mm one at the top, just because I feel like it. I'm gonna pull some of these out, put them on top of there. I'm gonna hold this back like that. And okay, 3mm is the way to go, for sure. For sure. So I'm gonna keep the 3mm one. Because I can fit, yeah, 3mm. And then just to make sure that I've got, that I can handle 2 dividers in it, I'm gonna put these 2 in there. Because 2.4 plus 1.6 is bigger than 3. So these in there, and it can handle it. And let me put the extra deck in there. Okay, so it can handle this. That's good, and I pull it out. And it is a little bit deformed. So maybe I might want to make this a little bit thicker. But I don't think that's a big deal because, again, the minimum number of cards that are ever going to be in here is something like 20. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 cards, right? And that already stretches this out. And then on top of that, it's going to be angled, and there's going to be walls on the side there, so I think it's fine. So I'm keeping the 3mm one. And then which one's the 3mm? This is a 3mm one. And then I'm going to check, make sure that I can clip this on. And yes, I can. And it doesn't want to move, but it is willing to slide. So this is what I'm going to use for the dividers. I still may or may not have tabs, because I can always take this on and off. I'll go ahead and make a version with tabs and without tabs. But like, I don't think I necessarily need it. I think I'll ask my friend what he thinks is better, because anyways. So yeah, I'll keep the 3mm one. I'll make a version with tabs. I'll make a version without tabs. And then I'll start working on the walls to keep the cards in place so that they don't slide out. And I'm looking pretty close to the end of this project. That's pretty good.